Welcome. This is Coach Dorf, and we're in section 2.6, and we're going to do an example of a homework-like problem. So in this problem, we're supposed to sketch the graph of an example of a function that satisfies these 7 conditions. So what I would do is first draw an axis here. So I have x, and I'm going to put some marks here for my values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -2, -3 on the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the y-axis, and -1, -2, -3 on the y-axis. Now, it may be that I'll have to redraw this graph later, but this will give me a practice to see how things go. So let's look at all of these conditions one at a time. So the first one is the limit as x goes to -infinity of f of x equals -1. So that means since x is going to -infinity, I want to look at the far right, is that right? Far left-hand side of my graph. And it's going to be approaching -1. So that means here's -1. So it's going to be approaching that. So as I go farther to the left, it should be approaching -1. All right. Now the second here is it says as x approaches 0 from the left, or numbers a little less than 0, that f of x is going to go to infinity. So as I'm getting close to the y-axis from the left side, I should be going off to infinity. So it's going to look something like this. It's going to go off that way. All right. And then the limit as x goes to +0, or 0 from the right, it's going to go down to -infinity. So as now I'm approaching the y-axis from the right side, that means I'm going towards 0 from numbers a little larger than 0. Then my graph should be going down to -infinity. So it should look like that. All right. And then the limit as of f of x equals 1 as x goes to 3 from the left. So as I'm getting close to 3, it's getting close to 1. So it should be getting something like this. All right. So it looks like it's got a value of y equals 1. And as I'm going to 3 from the left side, numbers a little less than 3, I'm getting something like that. I have an open 0 here because this doesn't tell me what happens when x is equal to 3. All right, let's see, we'll try another color here. This one here. Then we have f of 3 equals 4. So that tells me the exact value. When x is 3, my value should be 4. So I'm going to have a closed dot right up there. So when x is 3, my y value is 4. And let's see, we'll try light green here. That helps. Well, that's like what we had before. Let's do a dark blue. There we go. As I'm now, the limit of f of x equals 4 as x is approaching 3 from the right. So that means this one should be going like this. So I have the filled in orange when x equals 3, but as I'm going toward x equals 3 from the right side, it's also going toward 4. And then the last one here in pink, as x goes to infinity, f of x equals 1. So that means I should be going out like this. All right, now what I want to do is connect all these together. So I'm going to do that in red. So I'll start with my red line I have here, and I'm going to just connect it up here. Now you may say, well, how do I know it connects that way? Well, we don't, but the problem doesn't say find the only example. It says find an example that works, and that one works. It satisfies the first condition that as x gets close to infinity, it's going to -1. And as x gets close to 0 from the left, it goes off to infinity. All right, then I'm going to continue color my purple in. And now I want to connect this up with the blue line. So it's going to look like that. Again, it could have other things to look like, but that's good enough. And then I've got my filled in circle. When x is 3, that equals 4. And then I'm going to fill in the dark blue line with the pink line. So it's going to look something like this. That's an example that works. Again, you could come up with other examples, but this shows you one example of how it works. Hope that helps.